Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I must apologize for the delay today. We're starting later than scheduled. That's because we're having network issues, but I really apologize. We're really sorry about that. Welcome to today's episode of the 24-hour Nigerian President. I'm your host, Rejoice Joseph. If you're joining this show for the first time, this is where the 24-hour Nigerian president is where we get to interview people from different walks of life, regarding what is going on in Nigeria, regarding what their take is, and finally we get to ask them what they would do if they were given the chance to be the Nigerian president for 24 hours. Okay, if you've missed the first two episodes, you can still catch up, on our channel. And again, please join the conversation in the comment section, ask questions, tell us your opinion, and maybe we'll ask our guest you don't know. Without wasting any more time, because today's guest is a very unique fellow, you know. That you know how we go. I like to allow them introduce themselves because they'll do, better in that. So welcome, sir, to the show. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having
Yeah.
me.
You're welcome, sir. So please, can you introduce yourself, tell us about you, tell us about your unique background. Like I said, you guys, this is an interesting and a unique fellow. You want to stay on the show today. So please, carry on, introduce yourself, and tell us, all we need to know about you and what you do.
Yeah, my name is Philip Egbune. I am now situated in Germany. I was born in Nigeria in the city of Benin City. I grew up in NIFA, the Nigerian Institute for Oil Palm Research. I stayed in Nigeria till I was 12, and because of my background, my mom is a Russian Jew, was a Russian Jew, and my father was a Nigerian, and so through that I had a mixture of cultures already with me, and we moved to the former Soviet Union. I stayed in several countries in the Ukraine and Russia. Moved then to the former East Germany. We're already in unified Germany. I am a social manager from profession. I'm at the verge of writing my first book of poems. I've been involved in different areas of social involvement in the Jewish community. I've been leading a Jewish community here in Germany in my past. I've been also in the area of working for integration and migration as an chairman for the Integration Council. Um, that's approximately about me. Thank you.
That's a very interesting portfolio. I hope you're ready for my questions today with all your portfolio.
I've tried to prepare myself.
Last time you visited Nigeria?
Oh, that's been a long time. The last time I was in Nigeria physically was 1994. So it's a long time.
1994. Wow.
1994, back in the day.
Wow. Why is that? Wow.
Well,
That's a very long
uh,
time.
well, basically because of personal history, and when I moved to different countries, first moving to the former Soviet Union, when it broke down, got stuck in Russia, stayed there for about 5 6 years, and then we were searching for a place to go because back then in the 90s, Nigeria was on its down drop. My
Yeah.
mom chose to leave the country on time, I would say, because that period was really very, very, very scary as of the swiftness of the downdrop. And then we moved to Eastern Germany, and in Germany, I was more consumed with trying to integrate myself, get my studies done. And then when I got done with all I needed to do, found out that getting back to Nigeria wasn't so easy as of the financial point of view. Like you can travel from the United States or from Germany to the United States for like approximately 300 euros. If you want to go to Nigeria, that costs you about
Oh,
1,000 euros in one direction.
is that really the reason?
Yeah, well, it's not really the reason, but everything kinds of accumulates. Like, I really want to go back to Nigeria. I'm planning this visit. Also planning to write a book about Nigeria, working on that theme. But I haven't had, I've been working on my different jobs, trying to get meets and different things, different places. And I think I just didn't quite have let me see, the gut to travel, if I might use that word, because it's
So if
like
you're going,
when
if
you
you're, I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
So if you're
No,
writing
no,
a
go ahead.
book about Nigeria, is it based on what you hear in the news, what you see? Because you haven't come to experience Nigeria physically for a long time. So how are you, from what's your inspiration? How are you writing a book about Nigeria?
When I came to Europe, I started viewing Nigeria from the point of view of Europeans, East and West, and I got to a simple truth. They have no idea what our country is like, and what we are like, and how the whole setting is. They don't know anything
Would you
about
say
our
you do?
history.
Would you say you do? Because
I had the
Nigeria
chance
in
to.
1994 is not Nigeria in 2023.
I
Like, if you're not in
understand.
Nigeria, you wouldn't even know.
I understand. Well, first of all, I had the chance to grow up 12 years of my life in Nigeria, so I've got kind of a feeling of how the country is as of, like a point of view of a child and a youngster growing up from the one side. And the book I'm trying to put on is actually, it's like a mixture of, it's like a look into the country, history, a look into our different monarchies, the topography, just an overview of the country, trying to shed light to the diversity and magnitude of our nation. Because this, every
Okay.
time they show our nation, they show our nation about Boko Haram, they show our nation showing problems. They never show our nation lighting the impressive history. We have problems, I know that. Yeah, I work, by the way, as a PRO of the Nigerian Institute, the Nigerian community of Bavaria here in Germany. And so I've been, when I came to a certain level in my life, I started rekindling my knowledge of Nigeria, working with Nigerians. So I know Nigeria through the eyes of the Nigerians who've been there, and we
Okay.
talk and we exchange.
Okay. That's cool. Okay, so given your what everything you've said, and that you know Nigeria from the eye of Nigeria, and then given your background and experiences, how would you how do you perceive the current state of Nigerian economy development in Nigeria? In terms of like the economic growth and like social growth.
Well,
What do you
from
think about
I've been following Nigeria closely for the past years now. And I know that we have a kind of schizophrenic country, because on the one hand, we have a very strong economic growth. The country is thriving. There are several fields which are booming, but at the same time, we speak about development. I mean, the development of the country as of the whole of the country with everyone in it, then we are lagging behind where we should actually be, as of, if we take in
it?
comparison Nigeria 1980.
Yeah. Are you there?
Yeah, yes, yes. So
Okay, sorry
that's
about that.
where
I
I
just
see the development as where we actually are. So we are in a time, a very dangerous time, interesting time, historically relevant time of crossroads. You know, the every 100 years, 80 to 100 years, there are big changes on a global stage, and we are at the moment we're at the verge of the next uh, evolution, revolution. You can view it from this or the other point of view, and we're in the middle of it. So the big question now is, where do we position ourselves? Do our leaders know where we're standing at how important it is this point to make the right decisions for the future and benefit of Nigerians and Nigeria?
Yeah. Oh well, okay, that is going to make me ask you, if let's say you were given the opportunity to be the president of this country that you haven't visited in a while for like 24 hours, what are the things you would do? What are like the immediate relief what would you do to like make things better?
Okay, I've been thinking about this question for a long time. Like I was working with Nigerians in the diaspora and say, what can we do, or what would one be? I actually have been asking myself the question: if you were president, what would you
Yeah.
do to change the country? So I
Yeah.
kind of like thought about things. This my idea. First of all, before I get on doing anything, I would introduce a controlling group, a group that controls the president, that controls the government, a group of controlling that consists of members of society of Nigeria from all the
That would be you
states.
though.
And
That would be
yeah,
you as the president. So a group that controls you. Would you like that?
yes, exactly, exactly. That's important. You need a controlling group. That would be the first thing I would put said, because if you have a company, you always have you have an instrument. It's called controlling, and I believe our country needs a controlling instrument as to always give feedback to the leaders of the country, so that you can actually, because when you're leading a country, I believe you lose touch to a certain form of reality of what's happening for the everyday people. So I think that's important. The second thing that I
But some
would
would
change.
argue,
Go ahead.
okay, sorry,
Uh,
go on, sir.
Okay.
Although
The
some would
second, the
argue
second,
that before we forget that point,
yeah,
that some in Nigeria will argue that. Are you there? Sorry,
and there, yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, madam, with your question.
are you still there?
Yes, I can
All
hear
right, all
you.
right.
And
So some
okay.
people in Nigeria will argue that the people that the president has surrounded himself with, those people who would control the president, those people are part of the problem. So,
Thi- this is a possibility,
right?
but I think
Do you understand
for
me?
this, yes, yes, madam. But I think for this controlling group, I would choose to invite the
Could I
states of
take that
Nigeria.
again?
Um, do you hear me, madam? Hello? I can hear you. I can see you. Hello? Hello, madam? I can
Yes,
hear
I can
you.
hear you now.
Okay. So I believe it
The
would make
network
sense.
has been bad today, but we'll move. I can hear you now, sir.
Okay, good. So I
Okay.
think I would
Yeah.
democratically invite the representatives of the states to offer their representatives to be part of that controlling group. You know, and members of that, you have in, for example, in Germany you have controlling groups that basically are independent of the government. They're not part of the government, and so I think that body would have to be independent of the Nigerian government and basically focus on representing the Nigerians.
Oh, okay. Okay. Especially politics in Nigeria and issues like this is happening in Nigeria is the problem of tribalism, religious drift. There's always that issue of that discrimination. Now,
Yes,
yeah. So you've worked as a counselor for um victims of anti-Semitic violence. So how would you,
yes.
if you were the president, how would you handle that aspect of Nigeria, that factor of that tribalism, the religious violence, everything, discrimination? How would you
Um,
handle that?
well, I believe a part of the tribal problem has been given to us through our history and the historical facts as of the creation of Nigeria. I do believe that the democratic system that was given to us by the Europeans does not function in our part of the world. With our cultural and historic background, I believe we have the right and responsibility to devise our own form of governing, which will meet the standards and understanding of our people, thus including the people and enabling them to partake and not feel that they have the need to pull the blanket towards each other's side. So I believe a restructure of the political system, which will enable, let me say, for example, enable in what form I don't know at this moment, but enable the rural leaders, for example, the religious leaders, to be partaken in the governance of the state of Nigeria. And through that, we build unity because we invite everyone to the table and say, this is one country, and then you have a place at the table, you contribute. And we have a lot of healing to do at different areas, of course, if we take about uh, the thing that the Nigerian civil war, the Biafran conflict, if we look at the problems that we have in the north that happened with Boko Haram, there's a lot of healing to be done. And I believe for healing, when you heal somebody, you have a wound, right? And sometimes
Yeah.
you have that wound and you put a bandage, another bandage, and you put another bandage, and the wound is not really healing. So to really heal that wound, we have to take all the bandages off, clean the wound. But first, to clean that wound, we have to look carefully at it. And I believe we have to be honest with each other and have a close look at how and who consists of the state of Nigeria. Who lives there? Who are we? And I think we have to redefine how we see ourselves so that we can dream a new dream about our nation.
Come to Nigeria sometime soon so we can get updated. Right? Don't you think?
Can you repeat the question, madam?
No, it's not a question. I just said I think you need to come to Nigeria sometime soon so we can get updated. Don't
Okay,
you think
yes,
so?
yes. Definitely. It's on the plan. It's on the schedule. As
I hope you
actually
give me
as
a
part
call
of,
when you do.
I would be most honored to meet you personally, madam.
All right, thank you. So you mentioned Boko Haram in what you just said, and it just brings me to, because right now there's a lot of issues with insecurity going on in the country.
Yes,
Okay, people are not safe. People are afraid of even living in their own houses. So when it
true.
comes to insecurities in Nigeria, as the president for 24 hours, what are the things you can do to, what you think you can do, or you would suggest we do to curb it and make people feel safer, you know, in their homes?
Well, if I'll take one step back, if I may, very shortly, very briefly. If I was thinking of changing things in Nigeria, I would think about 5 areas because you can't change everything at the same time.
Yeah.
One area is definitely security. Another area would be medicine. Another area would be education. Another one would be economy. The last one would be infrastructure. All these things combined give the people living in the country, if they're fixed to a certain level, it gives them security, gives them a feeling of security. A person who has security and who has something to lose will think twice before you go astray as of seeking unlawful ways of earning money. If you give people a chance on these levels, you will help the country heal. As of the area on security, I thought a lot about this. First of all, we have to take in consideration, like I already said, the global problems that are happening now. They're very dangerous. They're very big. We have like elephants fighting on the globe, and we are in the middle of this problem. So first of all, I would issue, we secure the borders, strengthen the borders, invest in the military, and renew the military and police, renew the system and the people working them, create good working conditions for the personnel. I would invite foreign countries to embark in different parts of Nigeria for a limited period of time, and I would let Nigerian forces, both police and army forces, work with the different countries. Like you would say in the area of Delta in the south, you would have, let me say, the United States. In the other area, you would have China. In the other area, you would have Russia. In the other, so the idea of the controlling group kicks in. So the idea of the controlling group, each of these areas, the Nigerian army and police forces have a chance to try and use and implement the technology and ideas of these foreign bodies and collect as much knowledge as possible and accumulate that knowledge. The controlling mechanism would then check all different areas of Nigeria and check what works for Nigeria and for the Nigerian environment, and work, as you call it in business, best practice. Collect the best practice, choose the things that work, and develop things out of that. So basically, you're doing what the Chinese did in the 60s and 70s. You go around and see who does what, and you choose the best from everyone, take that together, develop your own, stick it together, and then you have a solution. So that's how I would go around the security situation.
Okay. I hope the right bodies get to, hear that. Well, because of time, I wish this program was an hour long, because I really have a lot to ask you. But so briefly, because of how experienced you are, with your travels and everything, what do you have to say about, because currently, like today I checked, and dollar to naira is a little over 800 naira to $1. So what would you say about our currency, continually facing, devaluation and fluctuation? How would you, if you're given the opportunity, what would you do? How would you stabilize our currency, maybe ensure like
Mhm.
a reliable economic system for businesses and individuals in the country?
One of the most important things would be to secure our resources and to sell our resources for the rightful amount of money that is needed for our country. At the moment, Nigeria is one of the biggest producers of gas and petroleum, and
Are you there?
we sell we sell it, but we do not refine it. You see,
Do you guys
um,
have
I yeah.
our network is
So
really bad today. I don't know.
yes,
Oh, he's off. Well, wait. Are you okay? You're back. Are you, can you hear me
I
now?
I can hear you loud and clear. So
Yes.
so
Sorry, you
basically,
went
I
off.
would
Yeah.
Okay, so what I said is basically I would secure our resources and let them be sold or used only for the sum of money that they cost, not for the, we're selling our products on a very cheap level. First of all, made in Nigeria products are not reaching Europe as much. We have a lot of resources, but we're not producing things, or the markets are closed in Europe, so that our products are not in the market here in Europe. I would also
I
go
think
as
that
far
before
as
you
to
do that, you would maybe look into the quality of Nigerian make. There are good Nigerian make, don't get me wrong, but then before you especially like anyway, let me not cut you short. Please go ahead.
if I join on that, in the 70s and the 80s, made in Taiwan was taken to be something very bad, cheap and bad. Now in 2023, made in Taiwan is basically one of the best products that you have on the market in the world. So if we set a goal of getting there on the top, we can make it. We also have to secure our markets from foreign predators. That means we can learn from the Arabs who did, for example, anyone who's making business in, let me say, in Dubai, uh, can only do business with they have to have a partner who's from that area. So we have to do something similar to say, if you want to do business in Nigeria, half of the business partnership has to belong to a Nigerian. That way we secure the control over the economic structure, because a lot of that has been stolen, and it gets down to corruption, which is also a major problem.
Yeah. Mhm.
I think you're frozen, madam. Hello?
Okay, so you were telling me about poem you wrote for Nigeria. Are you there?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
It's off again. I don't. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you. I'm sorry, you went off again.
Okay. So you
So
you
yeah,
go
you are
ahead.
also an author. You're also an author, and you've written some poems, right? Is there anyone about Nigeria that you can maybe recite for us before we close?
Yes, yes. It's
Okay.
actually one of my first poems. My book is getting out very soon. It's called Three Fires Burning in My Heart. Speaks
All
about
right.
the different cultures. So, one second. I have to
Okay.
fix this. One second.
Okay. Guys, sorry about that. Sorry about the on and off. I don't know, but this is Nigeria. So our guest has a poem written for Nigeria and is going to recite it before we close, shortly before we close. It's almost time, but please bear with us, okay? Meanwhile, please leave your comments in the comment section. You can join the conversation. You can ask questions. You can, even if not for these guests, for the coming guests, we can maybe get to ask them your questions. Leave your opinions too in the comments section, and keep the conversation going. It doesn't end here. And while you're at it, please subscribe to the channel. Subscribe and click on the notification bell so you get notified whenever we are live again, or whenever we post something on our channel. Okay, we're still waiting for our guest. I hope he comes soon. Please, I'll be reading your comments. You can keep them coming. Ask our guest a question. Thank you, Jude DK. Thank you, Paul Abdul. Thank you very much. Please keep the questions coming. Where is our guest? Yeah, you're right. I can see the comment of Mr. Paul Abdul. Please keep the conversation going. You can ask questions. You can leave your comments in the comment section. Corruption is the major problem of Nigeria and in Nigeria, definitely. Corruption is one of the major issues we're dealing with, which is one of the points of this show. We want to interview as much people as we can in different walks of life, those who are doing really well in their field, you know. And one of the aim again for this show is to inspire the leaders of tomorrow. You never can tell who's watching this thing. You never can tell if somebody who's watching this show today is going to really be the president of Nigeria tomorrow. Yeah, I think he's back. I think so. So are you there? You're back. Hi. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, network. Are you there? Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
All right. Do you think you can still recite the poem before we close? Because
Oh, okay, okay. I just did. 1 second. Can you hear me,
yes, I can hear you.
madam?
Oh, you just did. I didn't really hear.
Oh,
I can hear you.
okay. Let me go again. Nigeria, Nigeria, my
Okay.
country, where art thou? From the borders of Cameroon, Niger, and Benin, spread your broad wings. Your children born along the rivers Benue and Niger long for thy strength. We weep and lament amongst your riches. We hunger and suffer despite your wealth. Nigeria, Nigeria, my country, where art thou? Your children, so many in multitude and numbers, your children so different in cultures, we and our forefathers have forsaken you. Our language is 800 in strength, or religions not little in weight. We, a nation of believers, we have stopped believing in you. Nigeria, Nigeria, my country, where art thou? With 60 of age, in unity, and much older in tribal history. Nigeria, Nigeria, my country, don't cry, don't weep. Please clean those tears. We, your children, are just on our way.
Wow. That's really emotional and very good. Thank you very much for that, sir.
You're welcome.
Nigeria
Thank
will be
you
great
for,
again, we believe. Yeah. Thank you
amen.
so much for being our guest today. It was such an honor to talk to you and get to answer these questions. Thank you so much. I wish you can come back another day for part two, maybe.
Oh,
Can you hear
yeah,
me?
I'd be happy for an invite. Yes, I'll be happy for an invite.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you once
God
again
bless
for
you.
thank you
God
viewers
bless you.
for joining us, and we're sorry again for the delay. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for the comments and the subscribes, the likes. Thank you so much. Join us again though next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. by the grace of God, for another interesting episode. Thank you so much, Mr. Philip Egbune, for joining us today. And have a wonderful night, sir.
Okay, same thing. Bye bye.
All right, bye. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful night. See you again next week.